Chapter 6. Goat's Milk. There can be no partnership between the brave and the effeminate. We are regarded as a cowardly people. If we want to become free from that reproach, we should learn the use of arms. Mahatma Gandhi spoke those words in July 1918, while recruiting Indians for the British Army during the First World War. We should become partners of the Empire, he added. A dominion like Canada, South Africa and Australia. To bring about such a thing, he declared, we should have the ability to defend ourselves, that is, the ability to bear arms and to use them. If we want to learn the use of arms with the greatest possible dispatch, it is our duty to enlist ourselves in the army. Gandhi delivered this speech in Kata district of his native Gujarat region in western India. In March, he had led a Satyagraha movement in Kata for the remission of taxes on peasants who had suffered a crop failure. The civil disobedience campaign was partly successful. The well-to-do farmers paid taxes but the poor did not. The peasants had followed him in civil resistance and fed him and given him their carts for transportation. But now, when he came to recruit, they would not even let him hire a cart, and they refused to feed him and his small party. Gandhi records their heckling. You are a votary of non-violence? How can you ask us to take up arms? What good has the government done for India? The district had 600 villages which averaged 1,000 inhabitants each. If every village gave 20 recruits, Gandhi computed, that would make 12,000. If they fall on the battlefield, he exclaimed, they will immortalize themselves, their villages and their country. In the same recruiting sergeant language, Gandhi asked the women to encourage the men. His efforts failed and he only succeeded in making himself seriously ill. He had been living on peanut butter and lemons. This slim diet and the exertion, plus, no doubt, the frustration of failure, gave him dysentery. He fasted. He refused medicine. He refused an injection. My ignorance of injections was in those days quite ridiculous, he said. He thought they were serums. This was the first important illness in his life. His body was wasting away. His nerves gave way. He felt sure he would die. A medical practitioner, a crank like myself, Gandhi called him, suggested the ice treatment. Anything, as long as it was outside, Gandhi said. The ice helped. Appetite returned. The crank suggested sterilized eggs with no life in them. Gandhi remained obdurate. No eggs. Doctors advised milk. But the cruel manner of milking cows and buffaloes had impelled Gandhi to abjure milk forever. No, he answered. I have taken a vow never to drink milk. Here Kasturbai put in a stern word. But surely, she said, you cannot have any objection to goat's milk. Gandhi wanted to live. He was not immune, he confessed, to that subtlest of temptations, the desire to serve. Had he been up to par physically, his will might have been strong enough to reject Kasturbai's suggestion. But the very fact that he could not resist the suggestion showed how badly he needed the milk. Taking milk, he wrote later, was a breach of pledge. It always bothered him. It revealed a weakness. Nevertheless, he continued to be a goat milk drinker to his last supper. Kasturbai's insistence is the likely key to Gandhi's willingness to break the vow. Gandhi feared neither man nor government, neither prison nor poverty nor death. But he did fear his wife. Perhaps it was fear mixed with guilt. He did not want to hurt her. He had hurt her enough. Ramchandran, a devoted Gandhian, has written a sheaf of anecdotes about the master for which G. Rajagopalachari, MRG, father of Devadas Gandhi's wife and first Governor-General of independent India, vouches as true. Ramchandran, who lived in Sabarmati Ashram for a year, recalls that one day, when Kasturbai had cleaned up the kitchen after lunch and gone into the adjoining room for a nap, Gandhi came to the kitchen and, beckoning to a young male assistant of or mother, as Kasturbai was called, told him in a whisper that some guests were arriving in an hour and would have to be fed. Putting a finger to his lips as he glanced towards his room, Gandhi told the young man what to do and added, "Do not disturb her. Send for Ba only when she is needed. And mind you, don't irritate her. You will deserve a prize if she does not go for me." Gandhi, writes Ramchandran, was a little nervous lest Ba should wake up suddenly and burst upon him. So the husband left the kitchen as quickly as he could, no doubt feeling a husband's relief at getting beyond Fury's reach. But Gandhi's hope of escaping from his kitchen crime without detection crashed when a brass platter fell to the floor. After prayers that evening, Ba, arms akimbo, confronted the Mahatma. She had a fierce temper. Why hadn't he awakened her? Ba, Gandhi apologized. "I am afraid of you on such occasions." She laughed incredulously. "You afraid of me?" And yet that was the truth, Ramchandran comments. In his debilitated state during the dysentery, he was less than ever inclined to oppose her. Thereafter, for 30 years, Gandhi drank goat's milk. Gandhi's readiness to recruit for the British Army was another weakness. I asked him about it in 1942. "I had just returned from South Africa," he explained. "I hadn't yet found my feet. I was not sure of my ground." He had come to the unbridgeable gulf between nationalism and pacifism and did not know what to do. He might have taken the easy course and refused to support the war. Most Indian nationalists did that. They said, "India is not free, therefore we will not fight." But this was naked nationalism hiding behind the transparent skirt of pacifism. It meant, if India had self-government we would enlist to kill the enemy. The issue Gandhi faced in 1918 was universal and eternal. What does a citizen do when his country is invaded? For his conscience sake, a pacifist may discommode his body and go to jail, or he may bravely attack conscription and other military measures. This can be a valuable educational demonstration. Suppose, however, the entire nation emulated his example and refused to fight? Suppose the British had refused to fight in 1940? For Indians in 1918, two positions were possible. A 100% Indian pacifist would have abstained from the war and preferred perpetual colonial status, for as a colony India could deny wartime help to the enslaving motherland, whereas India as a nation would have to prepare for war or face destruction. Gandhi could not take this position because he wanted a free Indian nation. A 100% Indian nationalist would have abstained from the First World War, saying it was Britain's war, but would have prepared to make war on Britain for the liberation of India. Gandhi could not take this position, because he still hoped for a non-violent settlement with Britain about the future of India. In 1918, therefore, Gandhi compromised his nationalism by accepting the empire and hoping to attain freedom gradually and peacefully. Having done that, his compelling honesty forced him to compromise his pacifism and recruit for the war. The political Gandhi was thus caught in the ineradicable conflict between nationalism and pacifism. The religious Gandhi tried to resolve it by preaching and practicing non-violence and the universal brotherhood of man. In this dichotomy lay the tragedies of Gandhi's life.